Hey everyone, Saki here and welcome back to my channel. So if you haven't noticed, I changed my hair again. I really love this blonde color. I'm so stupid. I should have filmed actually last week because my hair was looking so fresh then. I mean, I still love it. It still like looks really good now, I think. But I had these really cool pink roots. I'll insert a picture here if you don't follow my Instagram. But yeah, I had these really cool pink roots and they're fading out a little bit. So they don't look as fresh as they did last week. But luckily I found some time to make a video. So if you like my hair, please let me know in the comment section below. Anyways, enough about that. Today's video is going to be all about Japan shopping tips. So after I came back from my trip from Japan, a few people asked me to do a video on travel tips to Japan. I don't really feel comfortable making that kind of video. A lot of people have done really informative videos about this already, and when I go to Japan, I don't really take full advantage of the experience. And what I mean is that I don't really have any experience other than shopping in Japan. I usually only go to Japan for a couple days. This time I stayed for 8 days, but on my previous journeys, I've basically only been in Tokyo for like 3 or 4 days and all I do is shop. So that is why I wanted to make this video for anyone who's going to Japan in the future and wants to know a couple more things about shopping in Japan. If you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Saki and I make videos every week all about fashion from Japan. Please continue to watch this video if you're interested. So if you follow my Instagram or you've been following my YouTube channel, you'll know that my style is pretty much himekaji, and basically I really like to shop from brands such as Liz Lisa or Encre Rouge. So if you're into different kinds of fashion from Japan, I'm not 100% sure that all of my tips will be helpful, but I'm just gonna try to give like general shopping tips that can apply to everybody. I have a list of stuff that I want to go over on my phone and they're not in any particular order, so I'm just gonna pick one and start with it. So you've made it to Japan, you found your way to Shibuya 109 or La Forêt or some other shopping mall, and you go into a store that you want to buy something from. My first tip isn't really a tip, but it's what to expect. So shop staff in Japan are a little bit different from shop staff in America. I don't know about other countries, but in America, shop staff don't really follow you and they don't really interact much with you other than greeting you and saying, "May I help you with something?" or "Is there something in particular that you're looking for?" In Japan, that's also the same, but a lot of the times the staff will follow you around the store. In America, if somebody's following me around the store, I think that they think that I'm stealing or something like that, but in Japan it's totally different. I think it's just their job to like help you out as much as possible. So a lot of the times in the store, they'll follow you around and they'll like pick out pieces like based on what they think that you'll like. And if you ask about any item, they'll try to find like similar items for you and stuff like that. I've noticed that that happens a lot in Japanese stores. I used to feel really uncomfortable about this happening because like when I'm shopping, I just kind of want to be in my own world and I kind of just want to do it by myself. But in Japan, the shop staff are really helpful and really friendly, so I wouldn't worry about them following you around the store or anything. That's just something that I remember that was totally unexpected when I first went shopping in Japan. So don't worry if the shop staff are following you around, they're just trying to be helpful. The second thing that I wanted to mention is something that happens to me in America a lot when I'm shopping, and that's if I see somebody who's grabbing an item that looks like it's like the last item. I get a little bit angry because usually in America they have everything out on displays, so if there's only one thing left of that particular item, it's most likely sold out except for that one item that the other person has grabbed. However, in Japan they do have display items. So what I mean by that is everything that you see in the store, or for the most part everything that you see in the store, is just their display item. It's a little bit different if you're shopping in outlets and stuff like that, but I know like in the Liz Lisa stores they do have other stock in the back, so anything that you pick up and take to the cash register, they will give you a brand new item that's wrapped in like a plastic bag and everything like that. If they don't bring out a new item, that means that that is probably the last one. You can definitely ask if you need to. Sometimes when I go to Liz Lisa, they'll just give me the one on display, but if I ask them if they have a new one, they'll most likely bring it out. So definitely don't worry if somebody has grabbed like the last item. It's probably not the last item. They do have a lot more stock in the back unless it's actually a sold out item. And if you are picking up something that's like the last one or they don't have a new version of it, please inspect the item carefully. So I don't know if everybody knows this, but Japan has like a strict no returns, no exchange policy. I'm pretty sure this is true almost every shop that you go to. I'm not sure about like the really big corporate ones like Uniqlo or anything like that, but I do know for the most part it is a no return policy. So if you do grab something that is the last item, please make sure to inspect it, because a lot of the times if the stuff is on display in the store, a lot of people are touching it, a lot of people are trying it on, so you want to make sure that it's actually an item that you want to purchase. A lot of the times the shop staff will clean an item for you, like wipe it down and everything if it is the last item and they're going to give you the display one. And Japan is super clean and super careful, so I wouldn't worry too much about that. However, that is just something I wanted to mention just in case people don't know. Another point kind of similar to that is trying on items. So there's a couple of things that I wanted to say about trying on items. First of all, you should definitely try on every item that you're gonna buy. Not everything fits the same, and I know a lot of the brands that like I like in particular don't have different sizes, so definitely like Liz Lisa only has one size. Sometimes they have a second size, but for the most part it's just one, and not everything fits the same. So each dress might differ from one another. I have personally been a victim to this. I always assume that Liz Lisa stuff will fit me, but sometimes they don't fit as comfortable as I would like them to. So I wish that I could try them on in store. However, if you are shopping in store, you definitely do have that option. So I would totally recommend trying everything on. Even if you're pretty sure that it's your size, you should probably try it on just in case. Another example that I have about that is the shoe sizing. So I'm normally a Japanese size M, which if you don't know the Japanese sizing system, for a lot of the brands that carry shoes and aren't shoe specific stores, they'll only have like 3 to 4 sizes. They'll have an S, M, L, and double L, and I'm pretty sure those sizes range from 5.5 US to an 8.5 US. I'm not 100% sure about this, but I think that's like the range of sizes. You can definitely look it up, and maybe I'll leave like a link to a size chart or something in the description below. But basically, usually I am a true M, 23.5 centimeters, 6.5 US. That is my conversion chart that I normally follow. However, just because I'm a Liz Lisa size M or usually a size M doesn't mean that I'm a size M everywhere. On my latest trip to Japan, I bought this pair of shoes that I think came from China because they had Chinese writing all over them, and they were pretty inexpensive, so I don't think that they were from a Japanese brand or anything. And in that shoe size, I was a size L, so I'm really glad that I tried those on before I just went ahead and bought the M size. So yeah, sizing is definitely different, like from store to store, even from item to item in a specific brand. So you want to try everything on, especially if you have the chance if you're shopping in Japan. The next tip that I have also relates to trying on clothes. So this is basically what to expect when you're trying on clothes in a Japanese store in Japan. They are really clean there, and they don't want you to ruin their clothes when you're trying them on. So the first thing I would do is ask to try an item on in the shop. I'm not sure about this because I usually only buy from like Liz Lisa and stuff, so I don't know if they let you try on everything everywhere, but if they do, they will lead you to the changing room. What I would do if I couldn't speak Japanese is like maybe point to the item and like maybe make a gesture like this to let them know that you want to try it on. After they give you the okay to try it on, they will lead you to a fitting room. They will usually grab the items for you and put the items in the changing room for you. One thing that you want to look out for is that most changing rooms will make you take off your shoes. If the shop staff doesn't say anything, it's probably okay, but you want to look on the floor. If there's a rug or if there's like slippers or something, that's probably an indication that they want you to take off your shoes before you go into the changing room. This is just for like cleanliness purposes, I guess. Like they want to keep their changing rooms clean. They also want to make sure that their clothes stay clean. Like if you're not sure, just take off your shoes anyway, because it doesn't hurt to stay clean, right? The next thing is that a lot of stores will actually provide this like head bag. I know it sounds a little bit sketchy. So what you do is you put the bag over your head before you put on the new item, like after you've taken off your clothes and stuff. And that way when you're putting on the item and it rubs against your face, it doesn't get like any of your makeup or anything. And I'm pretty sure they clean the head bag or swap them out pretty regularly, so don't be grossed out or anything. It's better than getting your makeup on the clothes and ruining them. So yeah, I think that's a pretty cool technique. Like it definitely helps keep the clothes clean, and it makes changing a little bit easier, so you don't have to be super careful or anything. So yeah, I think that's all the stuff that I had to say about changing. The next tip I have is if you don't know any Japanese, I kind of mentioned this before earlier when I was talking about changing clothes, but a lot of the staff are very used to foreigners, especially in Tokyo. So if you try to speak English to them, they might understand you. Or my very number one tip is to use hand gestures. So like I was saying about like trying on clothes, usually if you're holding up an item and like kind of go like this, they will know that you want to try on. Or you can simplify your English and just say try on, and they will probably understand you because they do work in a store and it does happen very often. Of course, it's always good to learn some basic Japanese too, so if you want to look up a few phrases, I think that is always helpful. And shopping phrases aren't very hard, and they're pretty simple to memorize, especially if you're already learning basic Japanese. At the end of this video, I will have a section where I share a few phrases that I think will be really helpful, so please stay tuned to that if you want to know a few phrases in Japanese for shopping. My next tip is all about tax-free in Japan. So there are so many shops that do tax-free promotions nowadays. Liz Lisa is one of them, but there are so many other places that I've seen that have like a tax-free sign in their shop. Basically, it's self-explanatory in that if you're a foreigner, you don't have to pay the sales tax because you don't live in Japan. However, I think some people don't know this, but you have to bring your passport with you everywhere when you're shopping if you want to take advantage of the tax-free sales. So basically what they do is that they will staple like a receipt or something inside your passport and stamp it, and that just shows like what you've purchased tax-free. So I looked at this online, and traditionally you're not supposed to use or open anything that you've bought like that's tax-free. I think that's a rule just because they don't want you to buy like items tax-free for people who are living in Japan, and they want to know that you're taking it back with you to wherever you're from. But I've never ever had anybody inspect this for me before. So I think that they're supposed to inspect at the airport when they check your passport when you're leaving the country, but they have never ever checked this for me. So I've always been able to use my clothes in Japan right after I bought them. Japan is pushing out tax-free so much. They would literally have to have an army at the airport inspecting everybody's luggage for the tax-free items if they checked, but I promise you they don't check. The last few times that I've been in Japan and used tax-free, they've never ever checked, so I wouldn't be too worried about that. But yes, please have your passport with you at all times when you're shopping if you want to take advantage of the tax-free discounts. My next tip also has to do with money, so I would highly recommend opening or using a credit card that is for travel. For example, I use the Barclaycard MasterCard Arrival Plus or something like that. I think that's what it's called, but basically there are no foreign transaction fees and it's got a really good conversion rate. So anything that's like labeled travel credit card or something like that, I'm pretty sure will have no foreign transaction fees, but you'll want to check when you're opening up the credit card, or you can call your credit card company and ask if they do have foreign transaction fees, because those can definitely add up. Of course, it doesn't matter if you're using all cash, but I would highly recommend to use a credit card when you can, especially if you get points. Like on the credit card that I mentioned, I do get like points with every dollar that I spend, so it's a little bit added bonus for like shopping. And even though Japan is definitely a cash-based system, there are so many places that take credit cards now. Like shopping malls will most likely take credit cards now, and restaurants will take credit cards as well. So I don't know, I'm not really comfortable with carrying like a ton of cash around. In Japan, you do definitely want to carry cash around though. I guess this is also a tip because Japan is mainly like a cash-based country, so you definitely want to carry cash around if you're eating at like food stands or you're shopping at places that aren't in a mall or something like that. However, it is changing, and I found that I was able to use my credit card a lot this time. So yeah, I would definitely have both if you could. So the last tip has to do with this scenario. You've been shopping in Tokyo all day, you're tired, you've bought so much stuff, your arms are tired, but you're not scheduled to go home, or you can't go home for a while, or you have friends to meet for dinner or something like that. This is a #1 lifesaver. So Japan has a lot of coin lockers. They're everywhere, literally everywhere. Especially in train stations, there are so many coin lockers. And what you do for a coin locker is basically you put all your stuff inside, you like close the thing, they print out a receipt with like a code on it, and that's basically your PIN number to get back inside your locker. At the end of the day, or whenever you're done with whatever you're done with, you can go back to your coin locker and get all the stuff that you've bought. I haven't used a coin locker in a while, but I do remember whenever I had a really heavy shopping day and I had to do something afterwards, I would always just stick my stuff in a coin locker and it would be safe until I had to go get it later. However, coin lockers kind of look the same everywhere in Japan. So my tip for this is to take a picture of the whole like locker setup so that you know what it looks like, and also to take pictures of like the surrounding area so you know where your coin locker is located. And worst case scenario, somebody can help you if you show them the pictures, and that way you'll know how to find your locker. The last part of the video is going to be all about useful Japanese shopping phrases. So disclaimer, I am not Japanese. I am nowhere close to being fluent in Japanese. However, I do know a few shopping phrases that I like to use when I'm shopping, so hopefully these will be helpful to you. And I'm so sorry if I butcher pronunciation or anything. I'm trying my best. So let's get started with that. So yeah, I'm really nervous about this part, but hopefully it'll be helpful, and please don't judge my Japanese very hard. So I think the most helpful phrases are for when you're trying on clothes. So when you're trying on clothes and the shop staff comes up to you and asks you how it is, if what you're trying on is too small, say ちょっと小さすぎます。ちょっと小さすぎます, which means that the item is too small. If the item is too big, I would say ちょっと大きすぎます。ちょっと大きすぎます, which means that the item is too big. If you want to know if there are other sizes, you can say 他のサイズはありますか? 他のサイズはありますか? Which means are there other sizes? Similarly, if you want to know if there are different colors of the item that you're looking at, you can say 他の色はありますか? 他の色はありますか? Which means are there different colors? If you have a size in mind, such as if you're an M shoe size, you can say M サイズはありますか? M サイズはありますか? Or L or S or whatever you want to substitute with. If you're ready to try something on and you want to ask if you can say これを試着してもいいんですか? これを試着してもいいですか? Which means, can I try this on? As I was saying earlier, a lot of the times they will have something new in the back for you which hasn't been tried on or used. If you want to know if they have a new item in the back, you can say 新しいのはありますか? 新しいのはありますか? Which means, do you have a new one? Of course, like I said before, if you are shopping in Tokyo or basically anywhere with a lot of tourists, Japanese staff are usually used to having to use hand gestures to communicate or just kind of guess at what you're saying, so I wouldn't worry too much about that. All right, I hope that you guys enjoyed my shopping tips. I will definitely try to answer any more questions if you have them, so please leave them in the comments, or also feel free to send me a comment or a DM on Instagram. I am on Instagram way more than I am on YouTube. YouTube doesn't send me notifications when I get a comment, so I only check it like once a week. So if you want to reach me fast, please just message me on Instagram. If you like this video and found it helpful, please give me a big thumbs up, and please let me know if you have any other shopping tips of your own for Tokyo or for Japan. And please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Thank you for watching. Bye!